About the J6 people too, though, right? That's what they're going to say on the other side. That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial, and now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like now he's a convicted felon and those things, and now for our party we were talking about criminal justice, and we are now talking about second chances, and now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was politically motivated, and those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could realize that they could weaponize.
Why is a U.S. senator taking on one of the most controversial daytime TV shows in a legal showdown? Did Sunny Hostin cross the line on national television, or is John Fetterman making a bold move to hold media accountable? Stay tuned, because this lawsuit isn't just about words. It's about setting a precedent for media responsibility and free speech in the modern age. And trust me, what went down on The View will leave you questioning everything you thought about political and media boundaries. All right, everyone, get ready, because today's story is heating up both the political and entertainment worlds like never before. If you've been following the buzz, you already know John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, who's built a reputation for being unapologetically bold on issues like justice, equality, and fairness. But here's the twist. This time, Fetterman isn't making headlines for his policies or speeches. Nope, he's taking center stage in a legal showdown that's sending shockwaves through daytime television. You heard that right. Fetterman has filed a lawsuit against Sunny Hostin, one of the co-hosts of The View, along with the show's producers. And let me tell you, this isn't your usual tabloid gossip or some petty Hollywood feud. This is a serious legal clash that's capturing everyone's attention, from political insiders to daytime TV fans. So what's really going on here? What sparked this high-profile legal battle, and why is it making waves far beyond just the people involved? Stick with me as we break it all down. This is a story you won't want to miss. Let's take a moment to talk about John Fetterman. This guy isn't new to making waves. Over the years, the Pennsylvania senator has built a name for himself as someone who doesn't shy away from tough conversations. Whether he's fighting for underrepresented communities or taking on systemic injustices, Fetterman's made it clear that he's here to challenge the status quo and stand up for what's right, no matter how unpopular or difficult it might be. And let's be real, that bold attitude doesn't stop with his work in politics. He's not afraid to call out the media when he feels they've crossed a line. So when Fetterman was invited to The View for what everyone thought would be a standard, lively discussion about politics, current events, and maybe even the future, expectations were pretty straightforward. After all, The View is known for its spirited debates and no-filter commentary, especially from hosts like Sunny Hostin, who's no stranger to saying exactly what's on her mind. But things took a sharp turn no one saw coming. During the live broadcast, Hostin made comments that hit a nerve with Fetterman, comments he simply couldn't ignore.
His son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that, but a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
Well, I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now it's that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases. And we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other.
Now, while the exact details of what Sunny Hostin said on The View are still under wraps, likely because of the ongoing legal proceedings, it was serious enough to push Senator Fetterman to take action. And let's be clear, this isn't just about a single comment or one heated exchange. What's at stake here is much bigger. This is about drawing a line when it comes to what's said on national television and holding people accountable when that line is crossed. Fetterman, being true to his no-nonsense reputation, isn't backing down. He's showing everyone that he's not afraid to take on even one of the most influential daytime TV shows in the country if it means standing up for what he believes is right. But here's where things get even more fascinating. The View has always thrived on its reputation as a stage for diverse opinions and lively debates. Over the years, it's faced plenty of criticism for its fiery discussions, which often push boundaries and stir controversy. However, this situation is in a completely different league. A lawsuit of this scale isn't about boosting ratings or weathering public backlash. It's about legal consequences and the fine line between free speech and defamation. And for Sunny Hostin, who's no stranger to polarizing opinions and criticism, this case could very well be a turning point, not just for her career, but for the show's future as well. Splash Movies! Sunny Hostin, well known for her bold commentary and fearless approach, now faces a legal challenge that could redefine not only her career trajectory, but also the boundaries of daytime television discussions. This case raises a pressing question: how should talk shows handle sensitive issues without crossing the line? Meanwhile, the producers of The View are also squarely in the spotlight. Far from being passive observers, they're deeply implicated in this legal drama. If Fetterman's allegations hold up, it could force a re-examination of how the show is managed, particularly when it comes to maintaining a balance between engaging dialogue and respectful debate. But here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about Fetterman or Hostin. This is about holding media platforms accountable for the influence they wield. It's a reminder of how much power shows like The View have in shaping public conversations and the potential consequences when that power is misused. At its core, this case is a wake-up call. It challenges us to think critically about the role of media, the dynamics of power between public figures, and the fine line between entertainment and responsibility.
Netflix documentary series about New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He said he's heartbroken about friends and family cutting him off for his controversial political views and conspiracy theories. And a lot of Americans can relate to this, especially after this last election. So, do you think it happens everywhere?
What I recall about him is when he was asked about the COVID-19 pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, when people had lost loved ones, when people's family members were missing from their Thanksgiving table, like my table, he said, "I'm immunized." And as it turns out, he was not. He had done his own research. He has his Google MD like I do. And I think he said he was allergic to something in the vaccine, but he had COVID and he was in a huddle with his teammates. And I think people felt like, wow, you don't care. You're not your brother's keeper.
This could really, this could really turn me against
a morality.
In a time when media trust is at an all-time low, stories like this one serve as a stark reminder of the need for integrity, transparency, and responsibility, qualities that are often harder to practice than they are to preach. As the lawsuit moves forward, it's likely to remain in the public eye, stirring up debate. Whether you're a supporter of Fetterman, a dedicated fan of The View, or just intrigued by the overlap of politics and pop culture, this is a developing story that promises to stay in the headlines. For Fetterman, the lawsuit is not just about defending his reputation, it's a matter of holding the media accountable for the impact their words can have. He argues that the producers of The View should have been more cautious and responsible when airing potentially harmful remarks. To him, it's not just a personal grievance, but a broader issue about how media platforms handle sensitive subjects. This case for Fetterman is about standing up for principles that go beyond his own experience and sending a message to the media at large. In his eyes, this lawsuit serves as a wake-up call for the industry. Media outlets need to acknowledge the significant consequences their words can have, especially in today's fast-paced digital age, where misinformation can spread at an alarming rate. Now let's turn to Sunny Hostin. She's no stranger to controversy, often drawing attention for her bold statements on The View, and this situation is no different. It's her unfiltered commentary and willingness to speak her mind that have made her one of the most prominent hosts on the show. But with this lawsuit, Hostin is facing a different kind of spotlight. Sunny Hostin's direct, unapologetic style has made her a standout on The View, attracting both a loyal fanbase and vocal critics. However, in this case, her candidness might have gone too far. The core of the legal battle revolves around whether her comments were merely an opinion or if they crossed over into defamation. This isn't a minor squabble, it's a serious issue that's now set to be resolved in court. The question raised is one of great significance. Should public figures, especially those with substantial influence and wide-reaching audiences, be held accountable for their words? For Fetterman, this lawsuit isn't just about one remark or a single moment on The View. It's a larger statement on media responsibility, particularly in an era where misinformation can spread in an instant. Fetterman's case is challenging the media industry to reflect on the impact it has on shaping public perception and the dangers of spreading false or damaging information. This lawsuit invites us to consider the bigger picture, especially the delicate balance between two important principles, free speech and defamation. On one hand, the right to express one's opinion freely is essential to a functioning democracy. It allows for open dialogue, diverse viewpoints, and progress. Without free speech, critical conversations would be silenced and society would stagnate. On the other hand, protecting individuals from harm caused by false or malicious statements is equally crucial. Words that cross the line, tarnishing someone's reputation or livelihood, demand accountability. In today's media-centric world, where a single comment can quickly spiral into widespread misinformation, the consequences can be far-reaching and long-lasting. Fetterman's lawsuit places this delicate balancing act under a magnifying glass. It compels us to confront the difficulties of managing free speech in an age where communication is instantaneous and content can go viral in mere seconds. With information spreading so rapidly, we must be more conscious of the real-world impact words can have, especially when those words reach millions through platforms like national TV. It's easy to forget that every comment made on such platforms has tangible consequences that can reverberate across public perception, affect personal lives, and even influence careers. So, what do you think? Did The View cross the line with their comment about John Fetterman? Is he overreacting in an attempt to reclaim his public image? Or is this a larger issue we need to take seriously? This situation raises crucial questions about defamation laws, media ethics, and the intersection of politics and public discourse. It's not just about one comment. It's about how the media shapes our understanding of political figures and how those figures push back when they feel their reputation is under attack. As this case progresses, legal experts are already making predictions that this lawsuit could reshape how media outlets report on public figures in the future. It could even set new precedents for how accountability is handled in media coverage. The entire nation is watching closely to see how it plays out. Will Fetterman's claims stand up in court, or will this just be another fleeting controversy that eventually fades away? The broader question of whether public figures can legally hold media platforms accountable for their words is certainly one that will continue to spark debate. This case is a prime example of the intersection between politics, media, and law, and regardless of the outcome, it will likely influence how public discourse is managed in the future. So where do you stand on this? Is Fetterman justified in pursuing legal action, or is this all just a bit much? Whether you're intrigued by the political drama, the ethical considerations of media, or the legal showdown itself, this case is bound to be a hot topic for some time. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unfiltered insights. See you next time.